Welcome to my channel. I'm Gary Wiryawan and today is another everyday photography vlog. If you want to watch the other vlogs, I will put the card up here. But basically today is a practice time. I'm having a quick lunch here with my wife and I thought I want to try to force myself to do a little bit of photography practice today. No goals in mind, just try to improve my skill when it comes to using some of the lenses that I already have. This location I already visited before in my previous vlog. Maybe I will put a link up here also if you want to watch the previous vlog, but that time I was using my LX100. Today I'm bringing with me my GX85 and a few lenses. I brought with me the 12 to 32mm kit lens. Also I brought with me the 35 to 100mm telephoto little lens, and I also brought the 20mm f1.7 lens. So we'll try to experiment with some compositions today, try to come up with something interesting and just overall have fun with photography today. Alright, let's continue with today's video. Alright, so for our first composition of the day, it's a little bit difficult today because the paddy field is dry right now, so we don't really have that much of a beautiful paddy field like I'm used to. So we're going to try to just find some lines and shapes and things like that. So I'm interested in trying to photograph these two large trees right there with these bushes as sort of the foreground. So we're gonna go ahead and try to do just that. I'm with the 20mm right now. I'm setting it aperture priority, raw, so I'm going to post-process later. Electronic shutter just because I want to preserve the shutter life of this camera. I'm currently at f2, but I'm going to stop down to probably about f4 just to get extra sharpness. So with the 20mm, I think this is the perfect kind of composition. I'm focusing on one of the trees. I'm trying to include a little bit of the sky, putting the tree right in the middle. Let's try to experiment a little bit with this composition. I want to try to crouch a little bit so we can get a more dramatic kind of foreground. And let's see if it works or not. Again, this is just practice. I'm not aiming to get the most perfect photograph from this session today, but yeah, just experiment until I can get whatever that I like the most. Something like this, I think. I kind of like these bushes on the foreground. By crouching, I can employ them and they can stand out a little bit better on the image. So yeah, experimentation like this is always important. So I'm going to try to include more of the sky. Let's see if it works or not. I'm not making conclusions yet. You guys tell me which one you like better in the comments down below. More sky or more foreground? Yep. Alright, quite happy with it. Alright, for the second composition today, I'm thinking of trying to get a little bit of a scenery of this coffee shop right here. It's a little bit unique looking coffee shop with traditional kind of looking building, vintage, rustic kind of vibe. Kinda like it, and I want to try to capture a glimpse of this Photoshop using the 20mm today. Still at f4, electronic shutter and aperture priority. So something like this maybe. I'm trying to include a little bit of the trees. I'm focusing on that terrace area as well as the building behind. Kind of looks cool. It's very vibey. I kind of like this sort of look, and yeah, with a little bit of the plants on the left, I think it kind of adds more into the image. Sort of a framing device, if it makes sense. Trying to take a couple of pictures at f4. It's very hot today in Yogyakarta. It's currently 37 degrees Celsius. It's quite hot. Not normal, definitely, for Yogyakarta. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and try to photograph it. I'm thinking of getting a vertical composition. Less of the road, more of the trees and the sky, something like this. Maybe it'll work, maybe it'll look better, maybe not. You guys tell me in the comments down below. What do you think? Alright, for the next scene, I'm switching to the 35 to 100 because this is currently my favorite lens ever, especially this year. I just want to try to kind of get a composition where I can get a little bit of compression to stack layers together, that sort of stuff, and hopefully it will work this time. So I'm thinking of trying to capture these flowers right here in front of me as sort of a foreground, and then I'm trying to use those trees on the middle right there as sort of the main object. Not really the main object, but just a point of interest. Again, this is just sort of practicing composition, so I'm not quite sure if the result will be good or not, but again, practice time. This is my enjoyment time. So yeah, this is the kind of composition that I was looking for. I'm at 35mm right now, f4. I'm stopping down to f5.6. Let's try to experiment with the focal length. I'm switching to about 70mm. Let's see how it turns out. Maybe it's too zoomed in. Let's try 60mm, and I'm crouching ever so slightly just to get those trees to not be cropped on the image. So yeah, something like this. Let's try to capture the image. Vertical composition, very simple. Crouching a little bit more because I want to try to employ more of the flowers. So that's how you do it. If you want more foreground, crouch. If you want less foreground, just stand up normally. Something like that. Maybe I'll try to still use the flowers right here. I think I saw something right there. I want to try to capture those buildings with the plants together with this layer of flowers. So maybe I'm zooming to about 100. Let's try how it looks. I'm crouching again. It's kind of difficult to crouch, but yeah, I think it will work. Something like this. Again, with 100mm f5.6, the flower as sort of the foreground. Then we have the plants and the building as a background, and the main kind of point of interest of this image. Makes kind of like a nature meets the man-made kind of structure right there. Nature versus man, that's kind of the theme maybe. Alright, something like this. What about horizontal composition? No, it's not working. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Alright, for the next image, I'm switching to the 12 to 32 kit lens, and yeah, I'm always very happy when I'm using this lens because it's such an underdog. It's just a kit lens, it doesn't look sharp, but the reality is it's also one of my most used lenses this year. So I'm thinking of trying to capture those triangle buildings together with the flowers on the foreground and just kind of make for a nice kind of frame within frame kind of look. So I'm trying to figure out the focal length now, maybe 20mm or something like that. I'm at f5.6, and again with the flowers I think everything will look prettier. So this is the kind of composition that I'm after. Hope you can see the camera. Something like this. So I'm framing the building right in the middle. I'm including a little bit of the trees on the right there, and of course the flowers as a foreground. Something like this. I think looks nice. I hope the composition will work. I hope it looks nice. Let's try a little bit to the left. No, a little bit to the right. Oh, if I'm moving a little bit to the right, then I get another tree on the left. I think it's kind of more balanced rather than two trees on the right. I prefer one on the left and one on the right to kind of balance the weight of the image. Something like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera because I'm pointing the camera quite low. I don't want to crouch too much because it'll hurt my back, obviously. And also with the GX85 you have this articulating screen. Even though it's not flipping, you can kind of use it for this kind of low angle composition. Something like this. Yep, let's try to zoom in a little bit. Maybe focus on just the building. 32mm, still including the flowers as sort of the foreground. Maybe something like this. I don't know. We'll just have to try, I guess. Looks kind of nice. Let's try to zoom out. 12mm, a little bit too zoomed out, but what I'm thinking of is to try to include the chair, the table, that kind of stuff. Oh, I almost fell. No, it doesn't really work. I have to think of something else maybe. But let's try to capture 12mm with the chair. Nah, never mind. Right. One more composition for today. I'm still using the 12 to 32mm. I'm looking at these three branches right here, and I thought to myself, maybe maybe I can make this into a frame within a frame kind of picture using the rectangle created by the tree branches right here. So we're gonna try to do just that. It's also 32mm aperture priority, and voila, something like this. That's what I was hoping for. Not really the most prettiest picture that I've ever taken, but again, the theme for today is practice. So yeah, I think it kind of works. The frame within the frame kind of look. I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera. Something like this. So I'm framing all those groups of trees behind there using the tree branches right here. Nice, right? That was what I was really hoping for. And to see it turn into reality sometimes makes you feel really accomplished, especially in photography. So I'm inside the coffee shop besides the lunch place. So it's kind of unique, like an old rustic building that I was talking about earlier. Now I want to try to capture a little bit of the vibe of the inside of the coffee shop. So still with the 12-32, I want to try to capture something like this. This is about 18mm. Just the interior, the sitting area, and the ceiling, and all those pillars, those columns. I think looks really nice. Let's try to get rid of the sitting on the right side of the area. Try to make a symmetrical kind of picture, something like this. Nice. So again, this sitting area right here looks really kind of fun. It really has that vibe that I really want to capture. Again, with the 12-32, I'm at about 25 f5.6 aperture priority. Maybe I'm zooming out a little bit to about 20. I'm trying to capture those three chairs with the desk and the leaves behind and the building as sort of a background and the surrounding to the overall picture. Simple composition, not too difficult, not too complicated, just something that captures the mood and vibe of the current situation. Lazy Sunday afternoon kind of vibe. And that wraps up today's video. So that is all for today's video. I hope that today's exploration photography vlog is inspiring, helpful, and useful for you. Makes you want to go out and try to photograph something as well. So please comment down below what do you think of the pictures today. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel. And if you want to support my channel even further, you can use the affiliate links on the description below, and also use the super thanks button down below as well. Thank you, and see you on the next video. Goodbye.